Hey guys, Arwen here. So I want to go ahead and talk about how the patterns of my mother were playing out in my reality with my job that I no longer have, but I had it at the time with that I had these realizations. So with my job, I've had my job part-time for a while and I was doing my business part-time. And the job was constantly feeling like this energetic drain, like this weight that I just couldn't seem to shake off. So there were some good things about the job, like my health insurance was really cheap. A lot of my friends worked there. You know, there were things I really enjoyed about it. But what I did not enjoy about it was that it was very tiring and I was constantly like a mess over it because it drained so much of my energy and I felt like I couldn't leave. And when I went into those emotions in my body with the intention of clearing them and deleting them, what came up was that I felt all those exact same feelings about my mother. She was energetically draining and I couldn't wait to get away from her. So, small wonder. And I realized that the patterns I was playing out in my adult life with my job were some of the same patterns I was playing out with my mother. Now, I'd already cleared like a massive amount of mother stuff, so my issues with my job were very few, like there were not a lot of them. And so in regards to what was going on in my subconscious, the subconscious meaning like aspects of self under 3 years old, there wasn't a lot of patterns down there, but what was there was this sort of like victim martyr sort of like archetype going on, where I was playing out this archetype of like a victim to my mother. And in my adult life, it was almost like I was playing like a victim to the job. So when I was little, you know, I didn't really have, you don't have power when you're a child. Do you know what I mean? I mean, you do, but you don't know it is the problem. So you have the power to choose your thoughts and your emotional states, but who knows that when they're a child? You know what I mean? You don't know that. So you're pretty much at the mercy of whatever your parents are doing. And so having to I had to take care of my mother. So I was running a caretaker archetype / identity as well. And so I didn't really get to be a child and didn't get to receive. And so felt very tired and drained all the time. So I either wanted to block out my mother, or I was just trying to cope with how energetically draining she was. So as an adult, I noticed that when I was not at the job, I was not thinking about it. Not at all, totally blocked out. And you know, I did spend a lot of time trying to recover from feeling so energetically drained from it. And as an adult, I was blaming the job for all these reasons why I didn't have more time and why I couldn't feel better, why I felt so ungrounded. I was blaming the job for why I couldn't have more clients in my business. I was blaming the job for lots of things. And it is not the job's fault because, you know, I am in command of the type of relationship I'm having with the job, the type of relationship I'm having with everything in my life. Because you are having an energetic relationship with everything that is going on in your life. And how you feel about that relationship is how you can figure out what archetype you're playing out with it. That's how I figured out I was playing the victim archetype with the job. Because I was playing the victim archetype with my mother. So I removed that archetype from my subconscious. I removed that identity out. And then I cleared the emotional states associated with that. And then I integrated the aspects of self that were fragmented out and folded them back into my body and merged them in. And so in doing that, I automatically stopped thinking of my job as this draining thing I had no control over, which is how I thought of my mother, this draining thing I have no control over. And I just became a whole lot more neutral about it. And then I was just like, you know, this job doesn't need to stop me from doing what I want to do. Why was I thinking the job needed to stop me from doing what I want to do? How silly is that, right? So lots of things shifted and changed very fast, and I started to feel more energetically open. As soon as my energy field just kind of went and opened, and I was able to allow more into my life. I was able to receive more. I immediately started to receive more people booking sessions with me and wanting to come work with me. And then I noticed I felt even better because now I was like, oh good, I've shifted the pattern, I've shifted everything. And then it was not that many weeks later that the pandemic hit. And then so, you know, obviously I'm not at that job right now. It's been amazing. And then as soon as, actually, I think it was like a week before, I'd have to look at the calendar, but right when the job released fully out of my life, clients just came like pouring in like all the rain. I was just like, this is crazy, because like I didn't post anything and I didn't like do any YouTube videos, but people just started messaging me wanting to work with me, and I'm like, oh, it's because it's energetic, because I've shifted my energy field, right? Because I've just allowed everything to go click around. Like, of course people want to work with me now, because I felt energetically open. And I felt energetically open because I stopped using the job as an excuse. And even before the job was removed out of my life, because the governor decreed that all non-essential businesses had to close, clients were starting to come in anyway. And only the amount of clients were coming that I was energetically open to, right? So I removed my issues with my job, which is really my issues with my mother, okay? So I cleared that, and then I have more clients coming. And then the governor decrees all non-essential businesses to shut down. Job is removed fully and completely. So we went from part-time job to no job. And then this huge expansion happened where way more people called, like started messaging me to work with me. And oh man, it was like such an energetic release. It was like, oh, this feels so good. And it's like everything just started to spiral around and everything just started to work. But even if the pandemic hadn't hit, like I know I would have still moved into this released state anyway, and the clients would have come anyway and whatnot. Like I have more money now than I had when I was working, like of course, you know what I mean? And then the month that it happened, which was last month, that I lost the job, I still made the exact same amount of money that I always did, like my range. And it's because that is my energetic minimum is here, my energetic maximum is here, and I still, even though midway through the month those jobs disappeared, way more clients rushed in, and so the amount of money I made was still the same. It was still the same. Just mind-blowing to me. I'm like, of course it is though, because it's energetic. What is happening energetically inside you is what is determining like what's happening outside of you, okay? So it's just, yeah, when there is a vacuum, it is filled. The job was removed. Now I have plenty of time to write, and I've written so many blog posts on Facebook. If you guys feel called, I have a lot of things on Facebook, and I've also put them on my blog, so you can just read them there too. But yeah, now I feel even more space. I feel like, oh my God, I have so much room to create videos. I'm so excited because I have like so many things I want to tell you guys all the time. And I'm like, why am I not doing more videos? This is dumb. I should do more videos. But yeah, so this was the story that I wanted to tell you all today about what was going on with my mother and how my inner child felt. So how my adult self felt about the business was the exact same way my inner child felt about my mother. So clearing those, releasing those identities in my subconscious, clearing the emotional states associated with that, created such an energetic release, and it felt so good, so good. So I am doing a series of videos. I think this is number 4, number 3, I'm not really sure. But I'm doing a series of videos talking about different aspects of the pattern that I changed, because I really want you guys to understand how working with things on like a subconscious level changes things deeply. So I've created a new program. I'm very excited about it. It's called Merge With Your Power. And it is a 6-week program, and it's all energetic. So the whole thing is an energetic container. We're going to do energy work, everything that you need in order to change the patterns in your subconscious, clear the emotions, remove the identities, remove the patterning, so that you can be aligned with your soul, and so that all these different aspects of self can unfold in. And when you remove the identities and you remove the archetypes that are like creating havoc, then you can integrate the aspects of self, clear the emotions, feel very integrated, and then you can even pull out the archetypes from your psyche, because you contain everything. You contain the entire universe inside you. When you pull those archetypes out, you can then purposely like choose who you want to be on some level, like what archetype you want to run. I want to run the archetype of the sorceress. I want to run the archetype of the Merlin, although I've been running Merlin for a bazillion years. But I want to run the archetype of the online business owner, okay? Those things are important to me and they need to be more integrated in my psyche, and so I keep pulling them through. The archetype of the queen, the identity of the queen, is something I'm encoding into my subconscious as well, right? So the archetypes and identities playing out in your subconscious are determining what you feel you can have, what you feel you're worth, what your energetic minimums and what your energetic maximums are. Because what they believe about themselves is like determining like what your bandwidth for receiving is. I hope that makes sense. So if you're playing out a bunch of archetypes about being a victim / martyr like I was with my job, it's going to create this dysfunctional dynamic. And because you're literally programming the universe by what your thoughts, your feelings, the energetic patterning in your body is what is programming your universe. I almost said uterus. So changing those energetic states in your body, it changes what's going on around you. And it's really cool when it happens. It's so neat. It's like, oh my goodness, how come nobody told me this before? It's so freaking simple. So yeah, that's what we're going to be doing in the Merge with Your Power program. Integrating all the aspects of self that are creating issues, removing identity states and re-encoding identity states so that you can live out your purpose. Because when you are living out your core identities that are true for you on a soul level, then you're living your purpose, right? Then you're doing what is soul aligned, and life gets so easy. Ask me how I know this. Anyways, if y'all want to know more about it, it is on my Work With Me page that's on my website, which is my full name, aronmclaughlin.com. But anyways, all right, I'm going to do more videos for you guys, and I'll talk to you all later. Bye.